Imagine riding through a downpour and arriving completely dry. Rain has ruined too many rides, turning excitement into frustration. Our story begins with a former satellite engineer who refused to accept soggy commutes. He spent $7,490 and endured 3 failed attempts before finding success. In his garage workshop, he crafted an improvised factory, complete with a custom oven and vacuum system to mold the canopy's curves. With basic hand tools and relentless determination, he transformed a standard motorcycle into a rain-proof machine. Whether you're a seasoned fabricator or a first-time welder, you'll find tips to enhance your ride and protect yourself from the elements. This journey proves that careful planning and resilience can solve even the toughest weather challenges. Ready to see how a simple idea can conquer extreme weather? Let's dive in. The day starts with a soaked rider. Rain pelts the helmet visor in cold sheets, drenching jacket and gloves. Visibility drops to near zero as droplets carve channels across the face shield. Every twist, every break feels like a gamble. Static cling and water weight add fatigue. You've been there, trying to stay focused while shivering under relentless rain. This is our problem: how to keep the rider dry and alert. A clear canopy could shield from the worst weather, but it must integrate with the motorcycle's lines, avoid wobble, and withstand wind and spray. In his first 2 prototypes, lightweight frames flexed violently at highway speeds and seals failed within minutes. Learning from each mistake, he refined his approach. Like building a rainproof fortress on 2 wheels, today we tackle each obstacle head-on, turning frustration into determination. Step 1 is envisioning the canopy. Our engineer, trained in aerospace, sketches profiles on graph paper. He calculates angles to deflect raindrops away from the rider's field of view. Then he gathers materials: lightweight steel tubing for a rigid frame, a half-inch thick acrylic sheet molded in his garage-based oven, stainless steel bolts rated for corrosion resistance, and marine-grade sealant. He also preps essential tools: a tube cutter, MIG welder, drill, files, measuring tape, and even a homemade vacuum chamber to debubble the acrylic mold before trimming. This investment, both time and money, highlights the importance of meticulous planning in every DIY project. No fancy machines, just careful selection and a dash of ingenuity. With materials laid out and theories tested, it's time for precise planning. Precision begins with accurate measurements. The cyclist mounts the bike on a level stand side by side with digital scales to confirm balance. He marks mounting points above the handlebars, ensuring the canopy won't obstruct the headlamp or turn signals. Using a digital caliper, he measures width, height clearance, lean angles, and aerodynamic lines. Every millimeter counts. On his 3rd prototype, a few misplaced millimeters caused steering interference, an expensive lesson learned. This time, he transfers measurements to the steel tubing with a scribe, marking cut lines that must be flawless. Workshop lights gleam on the metal, highlighting every scratch and line. He even references a 3D model on his tablet to cross-check angles. At this stage, mistakes become costly or dangerous. So he double and triple checks each mark under bright task lamps before lifting the cutter. Now the real work begins with steel tubing. Using a tube cutter, he slices each segment at precise, camera-calibrated angles. The initial cuts are smooth and square, so joints will align perfectly. Next, he positions the pieces on a custom jig built from scrap metal to hold them steady. On his first attempt, inconsistent clamps led to misaligned welds, so he reinforced the jig. A tight, clean weld will be both strong and lightweight. He sparks up the MIG welder, dragging a steady bead along each seam, moving slowly to avoid warping. Sparks fly, and a molten pool glows orange. Patience is crucial. Once cooled, he grinds the welds flush, removing slag and imperfections. Each sound of the grinder brings a sense of satisfaction and progress. The skeletal frame of our canopy emerges, ready to support the acrylic shield. With the frame complete, it's time to fit the acrylic shield. He trims the half-inch thick sheet with a jigsaw, following the exact curve he molded in his homemade oven. That vacuum chamber removed microscopic bubbles, making the acrylic crystal clear when light hits. After smoothing edges with a file, he slides the shield into the top section of the frame. 4 custom brackets anchor it securely without distorting the plexiglass. He drills alignment holes for stainless steel bolts, adding nylon washers to distribute pressure and prevent cracking. Each bolt is torqued just right, tight enough to hold firm, loose enough to absorb flex. The transparent canopy glints under shop lights like a futuristic motorcycle windshield. Next, sealing will make this barrier truly watertight. A crucial step is waterproofing every seam. He applies a bead of marine-grade silicone sealant along the frame's interior edges. This sealant remains flexible even in sub-zero temperatures and resists UV breakdown. A fine bristled brush smooths the sealant into crevices and around each bolt head, filling microscopic gaps. To remove trapped air, he places the assembly in his homemade vacuum chamber for a quick purge. After 10 minutes under low vacuum, he releases pressure and applies a second layer for redundancy. Each joint now forms an impervious barrier capable of withstanding high-pressure spray and torrential downpours. In earlier builds, missing this step forced him to redo entire joints. This meticulous process saves time and ensures peace of mind on the first rainy ride. Now comes the mini-climax, controlled rain testing in the spray rig. The bike rolls under rows of high-pressure nozzles that simulate a heavy downpour. Streams hit the canopy's curved surface and cascade flawlessly down the sides. We watch water rivulets form perfect channels, never intruding past the windshield into the cockpit. A small onboard camera records the rider seat area and dashboard in high definition. After 2 continuous minutes of powerful spray, the instrument panel is bone dry. You can almost hear the engineer's sigh of relief as he watches the results. This test is the culmination of countless tweaks and late-night problem-solving. The canopy passes with flying colors, a testament to that $7,490 investment and the engineer's resolve. One final proof remains, the open road in real rain. Finally, our rider braces for the real-world test. Clouds rumble overhead as he fires the engine and accelerates into steady rain. Water hisses against the acrylic canopy, but inside it's completely dry and clear. He leans into corners, gauges wind resistance, and checks for rattles. Every twist of the throttle reaffirms the canopy's robust design and airtight seals. Riders nearby glance in disbelief as he cruises by, shielded from the elements. At journey's end, he stops, removes his gloves, and inspects the motorcycle dashboard and seat. They're flawlessly dry. The feeling is pure triumph. This DIY canopy shows that with technical know-how, resilience, and careful planning, anyone can conquer the elements. Ready to take on the challenge? Start designing your own motorcycle rain canopy today and transform your ride into an all-weather machine. Join the growing community of riders who refuse to let the weather dictate their adventures. Your next ride could be dry, safe, and unstoppable.